This spring break, choose your own Disney adventure with our very own Travel Bug Girls Disney expert. Whether it's a 3-night cruise to the Bahamas aboard the Disney Wish, a 3-day Disney park experience including resort accommodations and Disney dining, or both, Cassie specializes in crafting custom vacations full of joy, ease, and just the right amount of Mickey-shaped snacks. She takes the stress out of planning, adds a dash of enchantment, and turns every trip into a storybook adventure. Visit travelbuggirls.com or click the link in our show notes to find out how Travel Bug Girls can make your Disney dreams come true. Welcome to the Travel Bug Girls podcast, the show where we dive into the world of travel, exploring everything from expert tips and insider secrets to unforgettable destinations and the latest trends. Whether you're a seasoned globetrotter or planning your very first adventure, we've got you covered with the advice and inspiration you need to make your travels truly unforgettable. So sit back, relax, and let's take your travel planning to the next level. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Travel Bug Girls podcast. I'm Kimmy here with Heather and Tina, and today we are going to talk about a little recap of our World 25 conference. So this is a huge travel agent conference. This year it was in Dallas, Texas in September, and it's just a huge gathering of travel advisors from all different areas to learn and connect. And this year, Tina, Heather, and Cassie got to go. So Tina and Heather are going to kind of share a little bit about their experience. So guide us through the experience.
It was a lot of fun to be in the room with other people that are sharing a lot of the same issues and obstacles, but also the same goals, the same interests. I find anytime I'm in a group of people that love travel, it's very exhilarating. It's exciting. We're all sharing ideas and tips and tricks and, hey, have you heard about this? Have you seen that? So it's a lot of fun just to be among our people. But also the topics this year were really helpful. A lot of the point of conference is to learn new things and also to meet new people. Those are kind of the two tenets. So the kinds of things we were learning were travel issues, dealing with some modern issues that are happening, and business issues, but also we got to meet a lot of vendors, a lot of travel suppliers. You get to go and talk with representatives from, a lot of the cruising companies, resort companies, people that are also even small companies from different countries where they're trying to lure people into their country and be like, come with us and we'll give you a personal tour and we'll take care of all the details. So we get to meet a lot of those kinds of people, and that's a lot of fun for all of us. I think you go in kind of thinking like, I already know I already know travel. I already know most of these people, but then you get in and you always end up seeing something new or learning something new. So going in expecting to learn is really the key. And then also networking, like just getting to know people that are at these different companies, different levels, even other travel agents, people that inspire you or have new ideas. That is another part of it that I really appreciate.
Awesome. I know I didn't get to go to this one, but I got to go, I guess it was last year, to like a smaller the road show, and just getting to like network, like you said, with people that have that are kind of doing on the same path, and like sharing ideas was super helpful and like really helps inspire and kind of get your ideas going. And then also getting to like, I learned so much about some of the different vendors and cruise lines, especially that we work with, that I didn't know. I found that to be super, super helpful. So that's really cool.
I thought it was neat to get different ideas about how people are, finding their own clients. They may like how I work with a lot of different people, but I do try to specialize in wellness and yoga. And I met some other people who do similar things. And then I met some people who are focusing on like music, traveling to do different music. So it makes you remember that when you're helping clients, there might be something different than that they want to do besides, just go sit on the beach, which that's fine with me. But some people are like, oh no, I want to go and I want to go experience different bands. I want to learn how to, cook a certain way. I want to take a hike or a bike trip with people. And so being here, you get to learn about all those different ways of traveling. And then when you're networking with different people, I came back and I have some new Facebook friends from, people that we went to dinner with or whatnot. And then you see the research that they're doing, that they're sharing on their feeds. There was somebody who went on a train trip right after, and she's showing pictures, and I'm like, I wouldn't have even thought of this trip as something that would be interesting to me. And now I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to go.
Yeah, that is the downside is, if you're a travel lover and then you're
You
in
wanna go
a
over.
room full of travel people telling you, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? You walk home wishing you could go on all the trips. So
Yeah.
like, how am I going to figure out how to afford all of this travel this next year? Yeah.
Well, tell me about, I know they had kind of like training sessions, like breakout sessions. So tell me about that. Did they have different, like, how did you decide which sessions you were going to go to and that kind of stuff? Or like, I know everybody's on like different levels of experience and all. Did they have anything special for that?
Well, first of all, for the Travel Bug Girls, it works really nicely for us because we all have different specialties, different areas of expertise. And so we could divide up for the first couple of days, we were choosing what we're going to experience based on our niche, what we're focused on. So, Cassie went to a presentation on Disney, one on Universal Studios and other theme parks. She did some training on family travel, and Tina was able to do the same. She's able to choose, like, do I want to go learn about this cruise line or this tour company that really is going to speak to wellness travel? And so we're all able to choose those areas that most interest us. So the first few days were a lot of that kind of selection, and then the last day they changed up how it was ordered a little, and you were choosing based on your level of experience. So being a travel agency owner that has been doing this for several years, I was going into a more experienced group than my agents maybe would have been going into. But it was a really nice opportunity to learn from other people that are at the same level you're at or a little higher, so that you're able to ask questions about the stage you're at in your business. So that was really more business focused that last day. But also, like, we got to ask questions about, how do I help clients better? I mean, a lot of our business is about helping. So making sure that we know best practices for how to help, how to deal with difficult situations, how to make sure that our clients have the information they need to feel safe and secure when they're traveling, especially when trips are really complicated, when it's something a little outside the box. That's when we really need to make sure that we have everything they need to feel secure about travel.
I think it really highlighted, and I learned a lot more about specific suppliers who it's really in their best interest to make their clients and our mutual clients feel, like you said, safe and comfortable, but also having that idea of you are being cared for throughout the experience. That really spoke to me, because it's like our idea, we want vacation to be a time where you can leave, the regular worries behind. And a lot of these places, they would really spell out exactly how they are helping people be just having that experience of being at ease the entire time that they're on vacation. It really pinpointed for a conference that was talking a lot about technology and artificial intelligence. It really focused on the personal that travel agents will always bring to the table. Travel agents are getting more experience even as or getting more popular even as the technology is going up, because we need that personal human experience. Not only because, if you use AI to plan your travel, you might get a fake itinerary to a place that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
because you're not working with a human who, knows that that place doesn't exist or can research it in a better way. So I really like that focus on using technology as a tool to help you be more personal.
Yeah, AI was a hot topic this year. And I think the question that a lot of industries are asking is AI going to, are people going to lose their job because of AI? Is our industry going to be, irrevocably damaged in some way by incorporating AI, or outside consumers using AI instead of using us? And for the travel industry, I think the main answer is no. Like, it's probably going to make our jobs more valuable, because as technology is put more and more in the hands of consumers, what we've already seen is that some will take that in and use it, and that's great. But many others will become quickly disillusioned and dissatisfied with it. They're going to be looking for real humans to answer the phone, to actually listen, to respond in human-like ways, and really care about them. So those human touch points become more valuable. And what I predict is going to happen in our industry is we're going to see kind of the old-fashioned ways of doing things that a lot of people have put aside coming back again and having value again. So a real handwritten card in the mail when everybody's already been doing email for 30 years. Getting mail that is not an ad is powerful now. When we get an actual birthday card, my gosh, I got one birthday card last year. So, and you used to get your mailbox was full of them, right? When you were a kid. So those things that are tangible and real and human interaction, those are going to become more and more valuable, I think, as we see our technology progress. And that doesn't mean we can't use AI in valuable ways. Of course we are. We all are. And I think we'll all get better at that. I also think AI is going to get better. So we're going to see it becoming more of an everyday part of our lives. But when it comes to the service we provide, AI will never be a human that cares about you and your vacation and how it goes the way that your travel agent is. It's just that's just an impossibility. There's only so far it can go. And so that's, I think, why we don't really need to worry. We need to embrace it and use it the way everyone else is using it to make our work more efficient and more effective. But ultimately, our job is to, number one, vet all of that information for someone, making sure nothing's fake or outdated, right? But the other thing is really that human interaction of, we care about you, we care about your family and your friends, and we want you to have the best trip ever. And when you come back and you want to go again, we're here for you. So that's I think the main discussion point that kind of we covered in a lot of conversations over the course of the week.
I ran across, I think I shared it with y'all, a Not the Bee article that,
yes, I saw that.
looks like it was from the Bee, about people that had strictly used AI to plan their trips and spent all this money and then got to where they thought they were going, and literally where they were wanting to go was not a real place, did
real.
not exist.
Yeah.
And they had spent, $4,000 or $5,000 on this trip for somewhere that is just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like something that is not real, but here we are.
I think it'll happen more before it gets better. I think we're going to see more of that. The other thing is, like, when it comes to hotels and things, we already know that fake reviews, fake photos, like, there's a lot of not reliable content already in existence before we were talking about AI. We already were seeing that as a real problem, but I think AI is going to make that worse. So, like, hotels that want you to come and are unscrupulous in their way of dealing with customers, I think we will see people misusing that technology in a way that's scammy. right?
Yeah.
To lure people in and be like, come to our beautiful place. And then you get there and it's like those photos weren't real. The beautiful pool doesn't exist. Or it's green. Yeah. Things like that. I think we're going to see a lot more of that behavior too. So even if you aren't using a travel agent, you are going to have to do more homework.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to read deeper and look further and look at more than one source, I think, from now on when you're looking at places, especially bargain hunting travel. This is where we're going to see it the most because, the high-end resorts, they pay nice photographers to come take photos of their beautiful grounds. Like, I don't think we're going to have as much problem with the higher end travel destinations and companies. It's going to be the bargain hunting. That's where you're most likely to have trouble. So that's also where people are most likely to be using AI to plan, go to ChatGPT or something and plan their trip. And the other thing we've already seen are agents saying that people are coming to them with itineraries they printed out from ChatGPT that don't add up, that don't make sense, that don't take into account a lot of details like travel distance from, the airport to the train station to the location to right. Like there's time in between things. Like you can't just catch the next flight necessarily, And so these kinds of things are already an issue. We're already seeing people also valuing the expertise of ChatGPT over people that have traveled the world and work extensively in the travel industry. That's also something that as consumers we need to take a pause. Like, does this program actually know better than real humans who've been there and seen with their own eyes something? These are the kinds of things that in multiple industries we're all going to need to take a pause, probably.
Right. I mean, when you're asking a question of something or someone, who has the accountability? When you're talking with a person, you can go back to them and say, are you sure about this? Where yes, you can do that in an AI, but they're just going to placate you and be like, oh yeah. Oh no, you're right, because that's what it's programmed to do.
That's true. It's very flattering. I enjoy that about ChatGPT.
But it can also take you down the wrong road.
That's true. That's true. Asking for another opinion is a good idea.
So what were some of your best takeaways from any of the sessions that you were in? Did you have anything that really stood out to you that you were like, okay, this is a good nugget. I'm going to take this home and really incorporate it into what I'm doing?
I definitely enjoyed, we had some business conversations and marketing conversations and things that were really exciting for me as a business owner. But for my customers, the thing I was most excited about was discovering Oceania cruise line. That is probably my next dream vacation. It's going to be with them. I'm a serious foodie and I love culinary travel. And this ocean cruise line is, first of all, beautiful, like next level luxury ships. They're beautiful. But I was shocked at how their central theme seemed to be culinary gourmet travel. And so they offer cooking demonstrations by top chefs. They have cooking classes on board. When you arrive at port, your options include wine tasting tours or food tours, culinary tours, cooking classes in destination. They are cooking dinner each night with food from the port you just stopped in. So everything is very local as you're traveling, which also is giving you that added benefit of getting to try the cuisine from the area you're traveling in. So those elements are like fantasy land to me. Like that is amazing. And I would love to be able to travel with them, but also to help other food focused travelers that I know be able to experience that, because it's just such a really special program. So that's Oceania. That was probably the biggest wow factor for me while we were there. How about you, Tina?
I think that there were a few different ones. I actually went to a separate event before the conference even started with a tour company called Exotica. And with them and other people, I learned that a lot of the things that we are researching, some of these companies have already done it for us, and we can use them and work with them to provide a great thing for our customer. I really got into a lot of the different tours that were available. I mean, we've done Colette. I also started talking with Globus and Talk. I'm not sure how that is, if that's pronounced right. But and then specific ones over in Asia, and who do like specific niche type trips in specific areas. So it was really nice to know that there's people out there who can help specific when we have specific needs for our client.
Yeah. Another one I found really interesting, I do expect us to be working with them on a group trip probably, is Riviera. Riviera river cruising, mostly in Europe. They're really special because they make it easier for us to do group, which we love at the Travel Bug Girls, bringing groups of women to see the world together. But the other thing is they're really making it easier for solo travelers, which we also see as a huge trend in women's travel. Women venturing out and going on their own on vacation instead of waiting for a friend or someone to come with them. And so if you're not going to join a group, Riviera is a great way to see destinations along rivers in Europe in particular, because you're going to have that comfortable experience of river cruising, but without the added expense of that solo travel. What a lot of people don't realize when they first get into solo traveling is you're paying for two people often. You're paying higher than what you feel like is fair because there's not a second person in the room with you. You're basically paying for two people. And that feels very unfair to solo travelers. And so they tend to really struggle with certain companies because of that. They call them single supplements. And you see this already in hotels sometimes. Sometimes the single price and the double price are not the same. And that's certainly true in cruising in general. But Riviera has made it easier for solo travelers to enjoy their product without paying single supplements. They even this year launched their very first fully single trip. So, and when I say single, I don't necessarily mean you're not married or you're not in a relationship. I mean, you are traveling alone. So you could be married, but your husband doesn't want to go and you are on this trip. That's what we mean by single or solo travel. So it's really an exciting development. I really do expect us to be working with Riviera in the next year.
Before we wrap up, there is a little something exciting that happened at World. Do y'all want to share? There is an award ceremony called the Questies on the last day.
Yes.
Heather?
We were nominated for some Questie awards. And when we showed up at the award ceremony, everybody in their fancy clothes and the cameras there and everything, we were, hopeful. And then it was announced we did win one of the Questie Awards for Best Social Media Presence. So shout out to all of our followers out there on all of our social media platforms. We love all of that. We love hanging out with you in our VIP Facebook group and seeing your comments on our videos on TikTok or our content on Instagram and Facebook. So thank you. We are so grateful, and we got to take home an award. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Pretty
cool. And it was our first year going, so that was like
that's right.
Really cool.
It was a great way to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for sharing kind of about that and what you learned and stuff. I'm super excited of what we're going to be able to offer. I think that's my favorite part, is that we learn about new resources that we didn't know we had, and then we're able to like offer those to our clients and really like give them an even better experience. Very cool. Thank y'all for sharing with us about World 25, and I'm looking forward to next year already. So
yes, next year we'll be in Mexico.
Yeah,
World 26.
Woohoo! Let's go.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Travel Bug Girls podcast. Be sure to subscribe to get our new episodes every week. We'd love to connect with you on social media. Share your answer to this week's podcast question with us at facebook.com/travelbuggirls. You can find us on your favorite social media by using @travelbuggirls. Want to join our VIP group? You'll find us on Facebook groups under TBG Travel Bugs. Learn more about the Travel Bug Girls and what we do on our website at travelbuggirls.com. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and safe travels.